I mean, we're walking on sunshine, but I really would like to start with what a disaster the Jets are.
Jets are bad.
That's one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of a football team, out of a professional football team. I was talking, we're having lunch. There's a whole bunch of people here, and I was trying to imagine watching that through the prism of being a Jets fan. Do you think Aaron Rodgers would make any difference with the Jets team? Like, yes. I don't know what their record is. What is their record if he has played every game?
Double wins.
Really?
It is.
So, they're a playoff contender.
Zach Wilson and Trevor Siemian and whatever the last guy's name was. Come on now.
It was unbelievable.
And the Dolphins were so conservative, and they beat them by 30.
The futility on offense. But I don't want to talk about the Jets, but I do want to talk about the Jets. But I did see there's a couple tweets that I saw. The Miami Dolphins are now 19-5 all time at Hard Rock Stadium in games started by Tua. His 792 winning percentage, so 80% in home games in his career is second best among active NFL quarterbacks behind only Aaron Rodgers. So, again, sometimes he may not impress you, but, man, the guy puts up W's at home.
It's exactly what they needed to do, the questioning, the loss to Tennessee, that fourth quarter breakdown. Like, what happens after this? 6 days rest, like everybody was talking about that, Hawk. This good team is going to beat the hell out of bad teams, and we have a chance against good teams, and that's all you want. Are you impressed by the Kansas City Chiefs right now?
Impressed? No.
Are you impressed? Like Baltimore last night against Jacksonville. That wasn't impressive.
I'll tell you what, though. Lamar Jackson does things that are not human.
He's special.
He's special. Buffalo is starting to scare me again.
And Buffalo beat the hell out of the Cowboys. But to see those good teams, we're right there with them. And that's the thing. It's fun. Huck, yesterday I was at the Jack Daniels tailgate. I was really pushing my Crowder powders, what it was.
Pusher.
And I'm sitting there trying to convince Dolphin fans that we're good.
It's a weird thing. Will Manso tweeted out, it kind of quietly went unnoticed by many that Tua had only 3 incompletions yesterday with no turnovers and a QB rating of 119 without Tyreek Hill. And Will Manso says definitely would have been a different story if he had struggled. And the funny thing is, again, it wasn't that it was like great pass to Jalen Waddle.
Yes.
But he did what he needed to do, which was you didn't need to do that a bunch against that Jets team because they weren't going to score. The Dolphins were teeing off on them. So, and then I loved in the red zone, just keep giving it to Raheem Mostert 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, however many it takes, he's going to get in the end zone.
Yes. And it was a very conservative approach, but that's what Mike McDaniel learned from that Tennessee game. It's so funny. Now I think about your word cutesy all the time. And I'm like, this is too cutesy. 8-yard line, 3 chances. The guy's averaging 5 yards. Do the math. The guy's averaging 5 yards a carry. Just run Raheem over and over and over and over again. He's going to fall in the end zone. You're going to have 6 points on the board. And that's what they came very conservative. And I said last week, Hawk, I said, if Jalen Waddle doesn't become Tyreek Hill, I'm going to be upset.
And he did.
And that's what they made him. They put him in the position he was doing that little goofy little wing thing he does with his leg. Make if number 1 goes out, and Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the world. If he goes out, make your second guy number 1. And now Berrios has to step up. And now, Chase Claypool caught a damn pass.
Especially because your second guy is not Isaiah Ford. You know what I mean? It's Jalen Waddle.
He's a monster. Yeah. He would be a number 1 on 50% of the teams in this league. Yep. I said it last week. I said, if Jalen Waddle doesn't go crazy, I'm going to be upset. What do you have, 8 for 150?
He went crazy. And to be quite honest, he could have caught more. They didn't need to.
They pulled off. They pulled the gas off. But, yes, this is what good teams do. They're supposed to destroy bad teams, and that's what happened. That Tennessee game was upsetting, but I found myself justifying how good Mike McDaniel, how good Tua is, and how good this team is yesterday for hours before the game. And it kind of upset me because I'm like, listen. We're number 2 in the AFC.
It's so weird. It's really weird.
Are y'all not okay to be good? Why are you so reluctant?
Yeah, people don't know how to do it.
We don't know how to do it.
Dolphins Cowboys Christmas Eve should be a great matchup. It's a pick'em game, and I am looking forward to Sunday. I mean, Christmas Eve, Dolphins Cowboys like that. Like Cowboys got smoked yesterday. I'm excited for that game. We'll talk about that. Let's get a quick look at headlines though with Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. Hawk, I know you want to make this about the Dolphins and not the Jets, but if you do want to revisit the Jets and how bad they are and, just have some fun at the expense of their misery, let me know, because Brett Brecheisen of the Miami Dolphins just tweeted out, he was dunking on the Jets yesterday. So he has just factoid after factoid making fun of that awful organization. So I'm ready to go. Whenever you want to go, you let me know.
Listen, it makes me happy. I mean, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, he went from Tim Boyle. I'm talking about Robert Saleh. I was saying to the Ticket Wizard earlier, it's like a roofer who doesn't have any shingles. And they go, it doesn't matter. You have to put in a full day's work. And so you go, okay.
They just mess around.
I'll make sure the stuff is really stapled down. Make sure that there's no patches anywhere. But I can't shingle anything. But I'm going to get the roof ready for shingles. Robert Saleh is standing there. He's got Tim Boyle for a couple of weeks. Then he goes back to Zach Wilson. Had a decent game. They got a dub.
Yes.
Yesterday. I mean, he's just it was painful to watch him. And then they go to Trevor Siemian, even worse.
Terrible.
And I'm looking at Robert Saleh on the sidelines, and you saw Aaron Rodgers too. They were showing him on TV, and I mean, he couldn't believe what he's part of. He actually thought he was on ayahuasca. Like he thought that he thought he was having visions.
He was in a dark.
He wishes he was in a dark room.
In a dark room.
He couldn't believe what he was seeing.
It was terrible.
But like, what do you do if you're Robert Saleh? I mean, you literally know that you can't play offense.
Huck, we were a part of that.
Yeah.
We were a part of that with John Beck. We were a part of that with Cleo Lemon.
It's funny. I was saying that to the Ticket Wizard and Jay Keller 5, and they're like, hey, we went through that for a long time.
And that's why I don't feel bad, Hawk. I was living through it. I tell the story like when you go, I go up to John Beck and say, hey, bro, we'll hold him 13, score 14 points. I got you, big homie. And I knew in the back of my head, there's no way you're going to score 2 touchdowns, John Beck, because you're John Beck. Trevor Siemian, Mike White, all these.
Trevor Cinnamon
is his name.
Trevor Cinnamon.
Yeah. You know why? I don't even know his name because he's not going to be in the league much longer. These guys are not going to score points, Hawk. It was embarrassing on a good side being a Dolphin fan. But I was outside in the Jack Daniels thing. All I did was walk past and see the score go up. Because I'm still cooking. I'm still interacting. 7, 14, 20, 21, 24. I'm just walking back and forth seeing the score go up. The Jets are bad. And it's embarrassing. I actually think Robert Saleh is a pretty good coach.
So do I.
They just don't have a good quarterback. You have to have a quarterback nowadays. There are no more, and I use them all the time. There's no more 2002 Brad Johnsons. There's no more 2000 Ravens, whatever that guy's name was. There's no more of that. If you do not have a quarterback in this league, you can't win.
Got a text from Jay Keller 5. Thanks for the shout out. He says, there's also a text on the text line here. This is so true. It says, man, Lester H. White was double dipping, saw that the Dolphins were there. So on TV, as they were getting ready for the game, they did a story on the Lester H. White Boys and Girls Club. Dolphins did a toy giveaway there on Tuesday. These guys are double dipping. These kids are getting toys every day of the week.
Yeah, he kids. Oh, gotta move it now.
All right. Anyway, let's
Jerome
get these
Baker and Christian Wilkins got way more money than I do.
Any part of you feel bad for Zach Wilson? Because you talk about quarterback play. The Jets, we thought the Dolphins' offensive line was in peril. Brother. I mean, the Jets have me and Jimmy blocking for Zach Wilson. Like, I found myself.
They teed off on him. He had no time.
Did you say if I feel sorry for him?
Like, genuinely, any part of you?
Zach Wilson got about $30 million in the bank.
Right.
Nope.
All right.
No, it's part of your job. It's bad players out there that make a bunch of money. Like it's part of the NFL.
Plenty of quarterbacks play behind bad offensive line.
Yes, they got to go get it done.
Well,
He's terrible though. Zach Wilson's a bad football player.
Raheem Mostert, he set several records the other day. Most total touchdowns in a Dolphins season, breaking Mark Clayton's record, and most rushing touchdowns in the Dolphins franchise, breaking Ricky Williams' record. But I thought this was the most shocking stat of the night or of the day for Raheem Mostert. In his first 8 seasons of his career, 19 total touchdowns. Over 8 seasons, 19 total touchdowns. This year, 20 total touchdowns.
It's staggering. It's staggering. He is a touchdown machine.
You got the clean sweep over the weekend. Go ahead, Crowder.
I was going to say Mike McDaniels knows exactly how to use him.
Exactly.
Those outside pitches where he has the option to cut back. Like, I watch it, and I'm like, this is built for him.
Yep.
And it's great. It's beautiful because Mike McDaniel, he was in San Francisco. Mike knows what he wanted. Mike went and signed him to the Dolphins, and now he's leading the league in rushing touchdowns. Like, Mike knows what he wants, and he is activating it. It's
I think Dalvin Cook was feeling yesterday as that was going on because he had an offer, but it was a minimal offer.
Dalvin got 1 carry.
Yeah.
His brother's better than him. His brother went what, like 220 or something, 230?
Just embarrassing.
We literally did 2 months of shows on how the Dolphins needed
Yep.
Dalvin Cook to solidify their offense and make them go from good to elite. And here we are.
I'm good.